Hello and welcome. My name is Amy Klump, and I just wanted to take a minute to say that I'm so glad that you're here. I know that your time is valuable, so I'm just going to go over a few things with you and just tell you congratulations on being willing to educate yourself. Education is power. Whoever invited you to watch this video or whoever invited you to this presentation thought of you when they thought of health, and that truly is a blessing, and that is what we do. We are here to educate, to help, and just to meet you right where you're at. So what I'm going to talk about a little bit today is balance. Okay, we have worked with practitioners across the United States that have formulated this package that is a 4-month process to better health, overall health, physical health, emotional health, mental health, spiritual health. And health looks like a lot of things for a lot of different people. There's no magic pill in health. Okay. If someone tells you that there is, you probably should run the opposite direction. But what we can do in health is we can start to advocate for ourselves and know that we have options. Okay. One of the reasons why a lot of people start having problems in their health or why disease starts to set in is because of all of the outside factors. We have been created with a very specific system that needs to communicate and needs to talk. And what I like to do is reference to one of my mentors who I've worked with in this business. Her name is Lydia, and she compares it to having a pebble in your shoe. Okay, that seems like a really funny thing to compare it to, but let's just kind of go with this a minute. So let's say you have a pebble in your shoe and it starts to cause you pain, but you don't take that pebble out of your shoe. You keep walking on that path, and eventually that little pebble that just turned out to be a little bit of an annoyance is starting to cause you a backache, and it's starting to cause you a headache. And a few weeks go by and that pebble's still in your shoe, and then you start vomiting and you start having physical ailments of you're not sleeping, you're developing sores, all those things. Okay. So let's say you just decide, okay, I'm going to address this discomfort, this pain, these symptoms of having this pebble in my shoe. So what do? You take ibuprofen, right? Or you take some kind of pharmaceutical or over-the-counter medication, because those things were created to address the symptom that you're experiencing from that pebble being in your shoe. Now, I kind of want to go back a little bit because that seems really silly when we talk about it that way. What would happen if you actually went to that root cause before you reached for all those things to prevent the symptoms and you actually took that pebble out of your shoe? That is what we're talking about today. We are talking about a whole health approach. In our country, in our world today, what has happened is that we've become a society that wants a quick fix. We feel a certain way and we have a certain symptom, which is a reaction or it is the end result of some kind of disconnect or discommunication in our body. And we decide we're going to treat that ailment, that thing that is a cause or reaction from a specific issue. However, we never address that root issue. What if we changed our mindset? What if we started to address that root issue and started to get our systems talking? And that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about this brochure right here. If you have not been given this brochure, and if what I'm saying is resonating with you, maybe you're at an event right now and you have one in your hand. Awesome, because I'm going to have you follow along with me as we go through it. Okay, this is a natural program that was designed to give attention to physical, mental, and emotional imbalance. Okay, in health, we have to optimize our body's communication, our systems to regain balance so that we can have our bodies function the way they were created to, and so that we can ultimately find health in a journey. It's not a quick fix. It's not something that is going to happen in a day. Hence, it's a 4-month program because health is a journey, and it's something that I am 38 years old. I did share my age with you, yes. But it's taken me 38 years to get to the point of where I'm at. And the same for you, and the same for the ones that you love. And so when we're looking for a more holistic, natural approach, that does take investment, that does take time. And so this has been formulated to help you on your journey to overcome some of the barriers and some of the things that keep us sick in our journeys and help you start to find health and improvement in health over a period of time. So what does this look like? I'm going to kind of go through this brochure with you. The first month is a month that we call primary balance. Like we talked about, we have so many systems in our body, our muscular system, our endocrine system, our nervous system, our digestive system. All of these systems were created with a very specific purpose. Now, in our society today, there's so many things that we put into our body that cause disconnect. And our body stops communicating. We get these blockages. We're putting these toxins and things into our body. And so we really find that our body starts to get out of balance. A lot of the disease, a lot of the symptoms that we experience are because our body is not communicating and it is out of balance. And if we can start to get those systems to reconnect and to start talking to each other, we can start seeing improvement in health. Some of our body systems overwork. Some of our body systems are working less. So what we want to do is we want to take those systems and we want to give them a little balance so that they start communicating well, and so we can see that improvement. And so the first 30 days of the program are to help jumpstart your body and get them communicating in all those systemic ways so that you can start to move forward and improving your health. Now I'm going to go on to the second month, okay? The second month of your program is called the initial detox. Why is that so important? We've already talked about how our body is out of balance and how it's not communicating. Let's talk about what happens on a daily basis, okay? Every single day, you and I wake up, we drink things, we eat things, we put things on our skin, we put things on our face. As women, we wear cosmetics. We do our hair, we use hairspray. There's things every single day that are outside of our control. No matter how much we try to do our best, there's still outside extrinsic factors that we're putting in internally that affect our body and start to cause blockages. There's things in our past that have happened emotionally or mentally that can actually become blocks for us, that can start to disrupt. Stress manifests in our body, it manifests in our tissues. And so by doing a detox and helping clarify all of those things out, we start to get a greater sense of clarity physically, mentally, and emotionally. Okay, so we're first balancing and then we're clarifying. In that clarification, what else does that look like? The third month, or the third step, is a lymphatic or parasitic cleanse. Now, some of you might be thinking, that's a little gross, right? It kind of is to talk about parasites and to talk about problems in our immune system. But let's think about some of these things. What are parasites in our body? Some of us think of bugs. We just think of things that we ingest and they start living in our system and like we're the host, okay? It doesn't necessarily have to be a bug. It doesn't necessarily have to be a worm. Things like bacteria, things like fungus, things like lymphatic blockages, viruses, those are all parasites. They're living off of our body and we are that host. And so warning signs that you can get of some of these things, these autoimmune diseases, the chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, different cancers, all those things can be a result of our body having these parasites or these hosts, having an autoimmune response, having an inflammatory process. And so what we want to do is we want to address those things and we want to get them out of our system, okay? We can see that we have some of these different things just by different symptoms, right? So we can have rashes, we can have fungal infections, we can have abdominal pain, we can have swelling. This third month is meant to clarify your system and help you be able to see it functioning, to be able to get rid of those parasites and those things that are hosting on you so that your body, again, can start to work the way that it was created to work without having someone, quote unquote, stealing from you or stealing your energy or stealing your nutrition, okay? Super important part of the process. Last and final month is month 4. It's obviously one of my favorite months because I love talking about nutrition. I love talking about health. A lot of people, when they think about supplementation, I've heard them say, yeah, I don't really need that. I eat a plant-based diet, or I eat very clean, or I don't eat processed foods, or those type of things, okay? And that may be you. I've actually said those things myself as well. However, what I have to tell you is in today's day and age, our food quality is not the same as it used to be. Our world is changing, our earth is changing, our soils are being depleted of those rich minerals and nutrients. And so now, even with a very healthy diet, it is very hard for us to be able to get all those necessary nutrients and supplements that we need in a regular diet. And that's why supplementation is so important. Our body actually regenerates itself every 30 days. What we put in, we are literally made of, which is such a crazy thing to wrap your mind around. So it's very important that after we balance, after we clarify, after we get rid of those little parasites that are hosting on our bodies or taking away from us, that we replenish that nutrition, that we start to focus on attaining all of those things that help rebuild our system and regenerate an environment for us to improve our health. We will notice these things through better sleep. We'll be able to feel more mentally present. We may see some of that emotional or physical stress go down, and we'll just notice that we're being fed like we haven't fed before. The different nutrients and vitamins and plants that were chosen for the nutrition in this line are some of the best farms. They were strategically chosen to make sure that you are getting what you need. And it's just so important to know what we put into our body, the labels that we're putting in, the ingredients, they're such a big deal. And so in that 4th month, we're going to replenish all of the things that our body needs to be able to move forward in health. On the back of this brochure, you're probably saying all that stuff sounds wonderful. What is the bottom line? What does it cost? We have gone ahead and broken down all of the costs per month for you on the back, okay? What is really nice about this program is that we have created it so that it is the most cost effective for you. Being on a program is a big deal, and health needs to fit into your life. And so part of that also is the financial part of what is the commitment? What is this going to look like? Investing in ourselves can sometimes be hard. We are so willing to invest in other things in our life. And sometimes we are the last thing on that list. And so if this makes sense to you, and if this is something that you're like, you know what? Yeah, I need to do that. I need to move forward. When I started on this program 2 years ago, I was in a really horrible place. And I'm just going to share a little bit of my story. I was just plagued with severe anxiety and depression. I had inflammation. I had digestive issues. I had pain that was undiagnosable by my doctor. And I started searching for myself, and I found this. And that is why I do what I do, because I'm so passionate, because it's helped me so much. On this program, we have seen people with diabetes be able to balance out their blood sugars and not have to use medication. There have been women who have had issues with having babies, who have gone on this program and who have found themselves naturally be able to conceive, and then actually have to stop trying to have babies because they kept being able to have babies. We've seen people, women that have had cysts, that have had monthly discomforts, that were scheduled for surgery, who actually went on this program and were able to cancel those surgeries and not have to move forward with a surgical procedure. One of my favorite stories that one of my mentors shares is that she worked with a woman who is now 78 years old, but at 72 had to go on dialysis. And she had 0% function of her kidney, which rings true to me because my father is a kidney transplant patient of 26 years. So I know what that means. She had 0% function of her kidneys and started on this program and stayed on it for 5 years. So from 72 to 78, she was able to actually stop dialysis and see those kidneys start to function again and work so that she was able to go off of dialysis. That's amazing. This works. Our bodies know what they need. We were created to do amazing things with our bodies. We just need to be able to fuel them and have the right vehicles and the tools to help us get there. So, point being is that we have designed this for you from a financial standpoint so that it benefits you and you can see the most savings. We realize that this is a big step for a lot of you, and we congratulate you, and we're so excited for you for being willing to take that step. But looking at this, what we've done is we have a 4-month protocol, and every single month when you sign up for auto ship, if you follow this protocol, you are going to get a $50 savings every single month going towards your products. That's a huge, huge advantage financially. And so we just hope that you will take advantage. If this sounds like something that is you need to do. When I started, I was at my rock bottom. I had nowhere to go but up. And so I said, sign me up. The worst thing that can happen is that it doesn't work. And I'll be right in the same place where I started. But with Soul, what's so cool about this is they believe in the system so much that they give you 100% guarantee back. So you virtually have nothing to lose. So I encourage you to get together with the person who gave this brochure to you. I encourage you to have a conversation. If this makes sense, talk to your specialist and they'll be able to get you started. They'll be able to enroll you in AutoShip and get you on a path to improved health with Soul. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, and I wish you every blessing as you start your journey with Solle Naturals.